Welcome to the first episode of the Captain's Crease Goaltending podcast. Now, if you're new here, and you probably are because this is the first episode, this is part of my YouTube channel, Captain's Crease Goaltending, where we dig deep into the professional side of the position, breaking down what it really takes to play at a high level, learning from the experiences of goalies who've been there, talking about the parts of the game you don't get in your standard goalie clinics. So this isn't just for beginners. We're talking to goalies who already know the fundamentals and want to sharpen the mental game, refine their reads, and understand the pro mindset. And that's something that's going to help you no matter what level you're playing at. And it's an extremely important thing. It's something that gets lost when you're kind of in the world of amateur goaltending, is that I don't think enough work goes into really goalies improving themselves on a daily basis when you're just playing for fun, which I understand you want to play for fun, but at the same time, if you want to get better, then you have to make some drastic changes, and it's going to be difficult, but it's going to be worth it in the end. Now, today's guest is my buddy and a fellow netminder, Alex Horawski. Alex is a professional goalie, and we're going to get into his start in hockey, the grind of moving up levels, the mental game, the gear that actually works. And of course, there's going to be some unfiltered talk about pro hockey, whether it's international styles, and maybe some things that your goalie coach probably wouldn't say out loud. So enough with the warm-up shots. Let's get into it.
Oh,
How you doing?
good. Thanks. How are you, Maz?
Good to have you on.
Yeah, it's good to be here. I'm glad we can finally get this done. This is awesome.
Yeah, we've talked about this for a while, and
Yeah.
I really appreciate you coming in. I know you're busy, you're getting ready for the season and all, but I think
No
it's still,
problem. No problem.
we can start at the beginning. Let's talk about like kind of your first memory of hockey. How did you get started, and what drew you to goaltending specifically?
Well, my first memory of hockey, I just remember my dad loved hockey, like watching hockey and stuff. He never played competitively, but he would always watch the Leafs and stuff. And when I was a kid, my parents said like I would always, whenever the games was on, I would always be drawn to the TV watching and stuff like that. And then um, a few times I would go and watch my dad when he would play just pick up hockey. And yeah, I guess I just fell in love with the sport. My parents put me in skating lessons when I was 4, and they could tell right away I was just like always looking forward to going to skating lessons and stuff. And then when I was 6, I joined just like a local house league, and um, yeah, I just love the game, I guess, and just kept going from there. And in terms of goaltending, then yeah, when I was obviously when you're in house league, everyone starts. You get your chance to play in net, so it's everyone gets one game to play in net. And my first game, I think we won like 5-2 or something like that. And my dad noticed right away, like I wasn't a bad player, but like I was way better as a goalie. So
Mm.
I think he thought right away, he's like, if, and I enjoyed it more. And my dad thought, if maybe there's something here that if he enjoys it and he wants to keep playing and he's really good at it, then, just put him in goalie lessons. I started doing goalie lessons on weekends and stuff like that. And it kind of just went from there. Yeah, it was, just got drawn to the sport from a young age, which very very thankful that my parents put me in it and exposed me to the sport.
Do you think at any point they were like, "Oh God, I hope he's not going to be a good goalie. He's not going to like it
Yeah,
with how expensive
I
the
don't know.
gear is and everything."
I think my parents at that point they weren't looking too long term. They were just saying, "Oh, I guess he's enjoying it." I don't think they thought I would go as far as I have,
They
but
had no idea,
um,
huh?
yeah, no, and I think they didn't know what came with being a goalie parent, so they, they didn't have that exposure to it yet. But they learn pretty quickly. But I think they, as I went through the ranks and stuff, obviously there's pros and cons to it. Like, like I've never had a kid, obviously, but having a kid that's a goalie, it's a little bit different than having a kid that's just a player on the team. It's
Mm.
I don't know. It's the same thing as being a goalie, right? You're a little bit isolated, right? But
Yeah.
yeah, so maybe I think at some points maybe they were like, "Oh God, like we got a bigger financial burden having to pay for for equipment and stuff."
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, I'm sure they loved it. So
I mean, it's funny. You're not only isolated, but at the same time, you're kind of in the focus too. You can't get away. You can't hide. When you're
yeah, for
skating, you've
sure.
got
Yeah,
17 other
yeah,
guys who are kind of
yeah.
doing the same job as you.
Oh, and as a player, you can always go to the bench. Like if you make a mistake, yes, you can go to the bench. You can hide a little bit. If you're a goalie and puck goes in the net, and it's like
Yeah,
you're out there. Everyone knows you made a mistake. If you made a mistake, there's no hiding from it. No one really bails you out unless you get really lucky. But yeah, so
I don't think there's another position in sports anywhere where like
no.
your mental toughness is tested so
Yeah,
often.
yeah, yeah. And
There's
there's a
so much.
lot of mental toughness, and also like a lot of the sport. It's like the position's very unique because it can be compared to things like being like a pitcher or a quarterback in football. Obviously, every position is hard, but with being a goalie, you also need to be able to read plays, and you have to be able like let the game come to you. Whereas when you're a pitcher or you're a quarterback, you control kind of the flow of the game, and you know, as a goalie, I find this, if you go trying to do that, you end up um, failing more so than not because you're chasing the game, whereas
Hmm.
instead of letting the game come to you, right? So
Yeah, it's so easy to kind of get away from your rhythm and your training and everything that you're used to,
yeah,
your muscle memory when you start chasing
hmm
like that. So
yeah, for
it's
sure.
but then at the same time, I mean, people forget that it's a team sport, and
Hmm hmm
you're not going to be the one that's going out to score goals, and you're not going to be the one
Yeah.
who's covering the third man on a shorthanded play. Like, so you're at risk of kind of being blamed for the mistakes of others.
One of the old goalie coach, or one of the goalie coaches I had in the past, he said basically like you can only basically play the cards you're dealt, right? Like
Hmm.
in a game. So it's like you're dealt a certain hand, and all you can do is do the best that you can with that hand. Because as a goalie, it's very easy to put that pressure on yourself and like, oh, I have to win. But at the end of the day, like you said, it's a team sport, and it's a lot like goalies can put that all on their shoulders and think like, oh, well, if I don't win, then it's my fault. But like you said, it's the whole team has to come together and play. It's not just on the goalie. But I think as a goalie, when you're isolated and um, a little bit more than the players, it's easy to maybe take that on your shoulders a little bit on yourself mentally and put that on yourself. So it's just figuring out how to manage that and maybe not do that as much as you should, because then it becomes a detriment to your own game if you're thinking about that too much.
That's definitely something I had to learn as I got older, was to stop blaming
Hmm
myself so much and stop
Yeah. Oh yeah.
dragging myself down for every goal that was let in, and just
hmm
accept that there's going to be mistakes, whether you make it or your defenseman makes it. It's at the end of the day, it's you have to bounce back from it, and the more you
hmm
wallow in that regret and the shame and the guilt or whatever you want to call it, the deeper into it you're going to get.
For sure.
We kind of talked about the beginnings of how you got into it, but
hmm
at what point did you think that, hey, like, I think I can make a career out of this?
hmm
There's something
I
there.
think there's a few different points. Like I think the first time I think my parents saw it is when I was probably I was 8 years old and I played a year up double A. And so I was playing, like, obviously at that point minor Adams starts when you're 9. And so I was playing with kids a year older than me, not triple A but double A. And my parents didn't know anything about competitive hockey, so they were new to this too. And I think that was the first point where, I was succeeding with kids a year older than me. Although it wasn't the highest level, it was still being an underager. My parents were like, okay, he's actually pretty good. Like, maybe he can do something with this. And then I think like if you section it off and your career off into different sections, as you get older too, like you start to realize it yourself. I remember I did a few camps with Ben Vanderklok, who's Nashville's goalie coach, and I remember he saw something in me, and I think I was 18 or 17 at that time, and him saying like, "Oh, you kind of have something here. Like you're very like you have a lot of raw potential, and when you're." I'd gone through a lot of adversity in my career, even up until that point. And I think when I heard that, I was like, okay, you know what? Maybe this is a possibility for me. And then a couple of years later, I was playing like junior C hockey in Ontario. And then I went, and the next year I was playing for one of the best junior A teams in Canada. And I think that year too, really tested me a lot because it was like a very pro ran junior team. And when I went through that, I was kind of like, okay, yeah, like if I really want to play hockey, I can actually do this. And so yeah, I think there's different points where you kind of, when you're a kid, and then as you get older, there's different times in your life where you think, okay, this is like it's like a core memory almost. It sticks out to you, and you're like, okay, yeah, like I can actually do this. I can succeed, and if I really put my mind to this and work hard. Obviously, you can't control everything, and there's going to be things that go wrong and go right. But like as long as if I work hard and put my mind to this, I can go far. So,
Do you ever compartmentalize these moments in your life where it's like, okay, a chapter just ended and it's time to start a new chapter and it's going to have new challenges and you're going to have to kind of do things maybe a little bit differently and come at it from a different angle and try new things? Do you ever feel that way about these points in your life?
in the moment, I don't think I like compartmentalize them, but I think looking back, it's easy to kind of section them off and go, okay, like you look back on your life and you go, like, I know why this happened for a specific reason, and this is why, right? And you learn and grow through that. But I think in the moment, it's tough to make that because you don't know what's coming in the future. But looking back, you can kind of see, like, okay, yeah, this is at this point in time. This is what I was going through and why I was going through it, and then now, like as I've gotten older, you can kind of distinguish those moments a little bit better and go, okay, the reason I'm going through this now is for a reason, and not to get too down and hard on yourself, because knowing that, you're going to be able to figure things out, and, just be able to face the challenges that life or hockey throws at you. So,
And there's a lot of challenges in both of those fields.
oh yeah. Yeah, yeah, oh for sure. Yeah. And I think the thing is, the good thing about sport and stuff is you can take those things that you learn from sport and also like put them into your life as well and learn from them in that aspect. So like it goes both ways. You can take things you learn from life, put them into sport, and you can take things you learn from sport and apply them to your life. So I think that's a good quality to have, is to just, see them as, very similar, and be able to take things that you learn from any aspect of your life and apply it to something else that you're also experiencing in your life.
Yeah, and I think in my ideal world, like every kid out there should have some opportunity to be in a team sport environment, no matter
Yeah.
what the sport
Oh,
is,
yeah.
because it's incomparable. The experiences that you can learn at a
Hmm.
young age, learning how to get along with others, learning how to kind of take responsibility for your own position, but at the same time you're part of a cohesive unit. It
Hmm.
really helps you in your adult life. I mean,
For
or
sure.
it has the potential.
Yeah.
Everybody
Yeah.
has good and bad experiences.
Yeah. It teaches you a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and it's not something you can replace. Especially, you kind of notice a difference in the personality of some people who've never had that opportunity or never wanted to.
Hmm.
When it comes to like a work environment. It's usually that people with a team sport background or mentality can
Yeah.
work better with others. So
Yeah. Knowing that like the group aspect is almost more important than the individual aspect in certain ways, right?
yeah, so it's interesting you mentioned Vanderklok because I mean I remember when I first saw your videos just pop up on my YouTube. It was your like season
Hmm.
highlights. I remember like
Yeah.
watching this kid do the splits and go into incredible saves, but at the same time, like so much poise and like strong technique and edge work. And I was like, this is like, I feel like I'm watching like the next Pecorine here. And sure enough, then a bunch of years later, I see another like more footage, like training footage from you, and you're like what 6'7" at that point?
No, I was probably like 6'4". I'm like 6'4.5", 6'5". So
Okay,
yeah, I grew a lot. I grew late. Like that was one of the things. Like when I was 15, I was 5'5", and
wow,
so I was a really really late bloomer. That's like your OHL draft year, right? And
wow, insane.
I was playing midget double A at that time. I got cut from teams because they said I was too small. And then in one year, I remember I think grade nine, leaving grade nine, I was like 5'5", and then leaving grade 10 a year later, I was like 6'1". So,
Unreal.
um, yeah, it was something. Like it was a lot to adjust to. Like at that age, I remember one time, I think going back to my parents and stuff. One time we bought skates, and like a month later they didn't fit anymore, and my dad's like, oh my god, like so I think we like traded them in and got like half off a new pair, but it was still like, yeah, it was it was something. But yeah, I grew really late. I remember that year too, because I grew so much, like my bones grew and my muscles hadn't really caught up yet. I ended up tearing my hamstring that year. So there's like a lot of other things that come with it, and then once I grew, I was like bandy out on the ice because like I wasn't as coordinated as I was back when I was shorter. So it's like you're trying to figure out your body again. And then after that, I grew about another like 3 inches throughout the next couple years, and then ended where I am now, like 6'4.5", 6'5". So yeah, but that was a thing for me, was just growing really late. And some kids, it all depends. Like some kids will they'll grow really early, and they're 12 years old and they're like 5'11" or 6 foot, and they're like, oh, this guy's going to be a monster. And then now it's like sometimes you see a guy that used to be huge when you played with him against in minor hockey, and now I'm like 6 inches taller than him. So yeah, it's weird how life works in that way sometimes. But I think for me it helped me a lot. Just when I was smaller, I had to use different parts of my game in order to be successful. Like I had to be faster and stuff like that. And then once I got bigger, obviously I wasn't as good of a skater right away, but like after a while, those things kind of carried over for me. So I think it ended up working out in my favor as well. But yeah, it was that growing aspect of it was a bit weird when you grow so much in such a short period of time.
Yeah, yeah, and then there was me. I think I was about 5'7" in high school, and I ended up at a glorious 5'9" for the rest of my life. So to me, you might as well be 7 feet tall. Sometimes I'm in the dressing room looking at these goalies like 6 foot something. I'm just looking at them like, God, can you just spend a couple inches for me? Like you don't need it. Come on, man. Don't be late. Come on, come on.
Come on,
Give
share
us
the wealth
something.
here. Yeah.
But yeah, that's actually interesting you mentioned that. So because you had to like I actually didn't know that you were at 5'5". That's pretty amazing at
Yeah.
15.
Yeah.
And so you had to have like a really strong core, like really strong foundational skills because you couldn't
Mm,
rely on size to stop pucks for you,
mm,
right?
mm.
So that
Yeah. Yeah.
so you end up with that really rare combination of size and skill and quickness
Mm,
and strength at the same time. So um,
mm.
what was the biggest change like from a technique standpoint that you can kind of remember?
I think it was the skating because, like, when your limbs get longer and everything, you just feel more awkward in there. And I remember like my skating, like once I grew, I was just, like I said, I was just uncoordinated, and my skating and my feet weren't very good. So I started watching a lot of Braden Holtby because I know
Mhm.
I was a big Washington fan when I was a kid, and I thought he was one of the best skaters in the league. Like his feet were so good, his edge work was so good. So I would just watch things he would do. I'd try and watch every Washington game and just watch, see what he does, and try and learn from it. And then you go on the ice, you try and replicate it, do the stuff he's doing, and yeah, it's crazy how if you when you watch those guys, especially at a younger age, and you're like trying to learn and stuff, it really can go a long way for you. And realizing what you're maybe not as good at and improving on it. And but I think the skating for sure was something that I needed to catch up on since I had such a big growth spurt and just going from there and trying to improve that because when I was probably in the middle of that growth spurt, it was it was not pretty out there.
You must have felt like you have a lot of holes, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's like that's the thing too, is you're so used to standing a certain way, right? And, holding your hands in a certain position and, when you knowing what you can and can't get away with when you're playing that. And, then all of a sudden your limbs grow a lot and all of a sudden you have these huge holes under your arms and your 5-hole's a lot bigger and it's so much further to go down to reach to your low glove and low blocker, right? So it's a different type of aspect for sure that you have to learn to get used to. And, like the best way is to just get on the ice as much as you can and see as many shots as you can, because that's the only way you're really going to get better, because you just need repetition at that point.
Were you at any point kind of using video to see what you look at from a different point of view and kind of coach yourself in that aspect?
Yeah, I would always so even when I was a kid, my dad, he would film all the games I was in minor hockey and stuff like that. And it got to the point too when I got older, I bought a GoPro and I put it on the behind my net on the glass, and I would use it to put videos on YouTube and stuff, but I would also watch it to try and learn and see, okay, this is what's working, this is what isn't working, this is what I can improve on, or so video I think is a huge tool. I think seeing yourself in the net is something that's so massive for just your mind, and seeing, okay, this is what I look like in there, this is what I'm showing in the net and stuff like that. So I think video is a huge tool that I think should be utilized by a lot of people if you want to get better, because it's so beneficial.
And it's so simple too. You just set the camera and then just play your game.
Yeah, exactly.
You're gonna have so much footage to go through. I mean, like that's the problem right now is I have too much footage. Like I can't even.
There's not enough time in the day.
30 games, like just backlog of just like going through clips and stuff like that. But do you ever look back at your old videos and kind of like look at and like how different you were? Like maybe you're probably thinking of yourself very critically, like, oh my god, like was I playing like that back then? Like I thought I was so good. Do you ever feel that way?
Yeah, I think that's normal for humans to do, is just look back and go, oh my god, I thought I was so good back then. I really wasn't at all. But that's a good thing about having like something like a YouTube channel where you upload videos, is you get to look back and for good, like it makes me feel good too, going back and remembering those things. And that way at least I know it's there forever too. Like so anyone can go and watch them, and whether it's my minor hockey stuff or as I got older into junior or pro, right? It's I think it's awesome, I think, to have that stuff there. But also there is that sometimes you're looking back on yourself and going, oh god, like I really thought that gear looked good. But it's a lot of fun. I'm really glad I did it. It's something that you'll have there for the rest of your life too, so you can always go back and watch. And I'm glad it's there.
Yeah, or maybe just put like a a bunch of fake footage of you playing, and then like throw on
Yeah.
any opponents trying to scout you for the next game, and
Yeah.
make
Well, now you
make
never know with AI, right? It's like
yeah.
you can do anything.
Make yourself look like 5'9", and then when they actually see you in the ice,
Yeah.
they're like, "Holy shit, this guy's massive."
Yeah, just Photoshop it. You're a good Photoshopper. You can Photoshop me down and
Yeah.
send them
Yeah,
pictures.
I'll put your head on Darren Pang's body if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Uh,
you mentioned gear. Is there any kind of gear that sticks out to you like throughout your career that you like really loved like the most out of all everything that you've worn so far?
I think like um obviously you always remember your first sets and your first custom set of
Oh
gear
yeah.
and stuff like that. And but I think now like growing up, uh my first goalie I really like took a liking to and watching was Cam Ward in
Mm.
2006 when he had that like amazing Stanley Cup run and he had the Von icebergs. And I think obviously, I've always been with those icebergs, and yeah, so like every set of gear is special in its own way now that I get because I don't think I'll ever leave the iceberg graphic. I mean, never say never, but yeah, now we have like the little bit more updated one, but I think all the sets have their own little story to them, and but yeah, I've always loved the Von iceberg stuff. Is it looks just so good to me, and
Mm.
if you pick the right colors and stuff, it's just like really pops well. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's that's probably the Von stuff. Obviously, I mean I'm a Von guy, but um, and then obviously the stuff when you're younger. We still have some of it in our basement too, or you go back and look at it, and it's first of all it's tiny, but it's good memories.
Yeah. That's the thing I've noticed. The guys that really like the iceberg, like they were like massive fans, like to the point where they would
Hmm.
just kind of use it for as long as possible, or try to get it
Yeah,
custom made when they were no
yeah.
longer making it or something. So,
Yeah.
did
Jimmy
you?
Howard was another one that did them
That's right.
like
Yeah,
the
that's right.
icebergs. He loved them.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's I think it's like such a good graphic, but everyone has their own taste. But yeah, I love the iceberg.
Do you miss the graphics of those days? Because I feel like it's gotten like pad manufacturers tried to go so kind of like the direction that Bauer was going, like more abstract, like fractals and
Hmm.
shapes and things like that. That it's kind of lost, that character.
Yeah, I think for me, it's a little bit samey. Everything kind of looks similar. Like it's all
Mm.
the stock stuff kind of looks like the same type of like straight edge lines, and it's I don't know. For me, like I've never really like even when I was younger, I tried to stay away from the stock stuff. But yeah, it seems like the old stock stuff from when like I don't know 15 years ago, it seemed to have a lot more character in it, whereas now
Mm.
it's kind of just like uh, it'll look the same as the or similar to the version before, but they'll make it look a little bit different. So
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, it's like you're looking at the same pad almost every year. So that's why I kind of stick with the iceberg, and then change the colors up and stuff, make it a little bit my own personality. And I think at this point, I've had the iceberg for so long, I'm just kind of like the iceberg guy. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
No, I mean that's. I feel like there also used to be just more variance in colors and patterns as well. Because I
Hmm.
remember
Hmm.
working at Duke's back in like 2010, and that the goal section. I know you've been there. Like that, it looked
Hmm.
incredible. Like it was just
Oh yeah.
like, especially when the like the V4 7600s were in. Like, oh my god! Like I never got to wear
Yeah.
them, but I was always
Hmm.
into the Vaughn stuff because of Kippersoft. Especially the
Yeah.
V2s. So like that
Hmm.
was so I totally understand where you're coming from with the Cam Ward
Hmm.
specs because I
Hmm.
loved Kipper's gear, and that was about the time that I really got into hockey because I didn't have a chance to play when I was a kid, but it was that when Kipper went to Calgary, I became such a massive fan of him as a goalie, and
Hmm.
then Flames obviously because of that, and then that run was magical. I still think Calgary
Yeah.
won that series. That
Yeah.
puck was in. It was a conspiracy. Screw Bettman. And
One of the other gear companies that I'm sad isn't as prominent or around anymore is Coho, because I know they
mm,
had some really nice looking gear. Like Jonas Hiller had some really nice sets and stuff.
Yeah, we might have to get you back on the pod at some point, and we'll get my buddy
Hmm.
Tom on as well because he's the biggest Jonas Hiller and Coho fan you've ever
Oh
seen.
yeah.
So like he would
Oh
love to
yeah.
hear that. Yeah, he'll wax poetic about those two with you for about 5 hours straight. So we kind of talked about your journey into hockey, but how important was the goalie coaching to your development? Because like a lot has been said about the state of goalie coaching in Canada, where it's really lacking compared to a lot of countries like Finland and even
Mhm.
Sweden at this point, Russia, even the U.S. So what was your goalie coaching experience like, for example?
I think it is, obviously, like you said, I think it's not so much the reason why, and this is all my opinion, but the reason why I think Hockey Canada's fallen behind a little bit is not so much the goalie coaching per se, it's more so how the leagues are structured in the countries that they're in. With the OHL and stuff, you have they play like regular season, which is like 70 something games, and then they have playoffs and stuff. So if you have a kid that's a high end draft pick or a high OHL pick, and they don't want to put him in junior A, so instead he sits on the bench in the OHL and plays 10 games maybe, and behind a starter. And because you're playing so many games, you're not getting as much practice as you probably should.
Mm,
Whereas if you look in those other countries, like in the States and stuff, like they play maybe 40 games in a lot of the seasons, 40, 50 games. You get a lot more practice reps and development and practice. And I think that's huge, especially in those years, just instead of going and sitting on the bench and just being in the OHL to say you're in the OHL. Just getting those extra reps in practice and development, and the way the practices are structured and stuff too. The goalies aren't as much of a just a shooting target, right?
yeah.
They're actually incorporated into practice, especially at the beginning when you're doing warm up and stuff like that. You're actually warming the goalies up, right, so that they're um, ready for the practice and can perform and learn as much as they possibly can. So, like you've seen that with, as you know, like Russia and in Europe, like Russia, Finland, Sweden, always have turned out really good goalies. And unfortunately now, like Canada still has some good goalies, but it's fallen off from the Broder and the Longo, Fleury, those kind of days, right? Patrick Waugh. So yeah, it's. I mean, but it is what it is, right? It's who knows if someone's going to come along, but that's just my opinion on why, like, even the States has got goalies that are really good, uh, Hellebuck and John Gibson, guys like that are every year seem to be turning out good seasons. So
Mm.
yeah, in my opinion, that's probably what's contributed to most, is those very key junior years where, as a goalie, it can kind of make or break you. And yeah, if it's not done the proper way, you don't see as many goalies succeeding as you'd like to see.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, there's also the cost factor as well. I mean, I know
Yep.
that's a major reason why there's not as many goalies coming out of Canada. But
Mhm.
right now, I would say it's even worse in Finland, much smaller country. Um, you've got a much smaller player pool to begin with, and now if you're looking at the state of the NHL draft, like you're not seeing those high end Finnish goalies. The way that they were kind of coming out like out of a factory back in the mid 2000s.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's pretty concerning to see, and I mean it's not even just from an NHL point of view. It's sad to see from the point of view of like just a hockey fan or somebody who wants to see the game continue to grow, wants it to be more accessible to kids.
Yeah.
I want
Yeah.
kids today to have the opportunity that I didn't have.
Mhm.
I want everyone to get a chance to be a goalie because
Yeah.
I don't know. I know you and I are biased, but it's an experience like none other, and
Mhm.
I mean, to me, nothing else compares to it. But
Yeah, I agree.
did you play any other sports growing up?
I played soccer up until I was like 13 or 14, at a pretty decent level. And then when at a certain point, hockey kind of, and I was around 13, I was like, okay, well, I want to take hockey a little bit more seriously, and I moved to just hockey. So
Right. Were you playing as a striker, midfield? What were you?
I was kind of more on D. I was I don't know. I've always been protecting the net. I wasn't a goalie, thank God, but yeah, just never much of a finish to my game. But so I would always just kind of be a defender, and I was pretty good at making like breakout passes and stuff like that. But yeah, not goalie. I was net's too big for me. I was
Yeah,
too much.
that's kind of funny. But I mean, I don't have the height. I don't have the vertical jump. I was. It's funny. Like when I was a kid, I was pretty good at playing keeper in soccer because I'd just be flailing around, just jumping all over the place. But then I don't know. Now I have like that technique of like goaltending muscle memory. I can't do anything else. Like it just
Yeah.
because it doesn't work in floorball goaltending. It doesn't work in soccer
No.
goaltending. It's
Yeah.
it's completely useless when it comes to any other sport for me. Like
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
skill set, I can't do anything as well as I do in goaltending. So
Yeah.
it's the only
Yeah.
thing I play. I don't even bother trying with
Yeah.
anything else. So
Yeah. It's a very specific set of skills
yeah,
for sure.
yeah, like Liam Neeson used to say.
Yeah.
I don't know what you want. I don't have any money
Yeah.
because I keep having to buy freaking goalie pads. So, moving, going along in your career. So what's next for you? Like, where are you playing right now?
Right now I don't have a contract, so it's kind of up in the air, but we'll see where I end up. I mean, I've been in this situation so many times where in the summer you don't have a contract. So for me, it's just, wait and see. And then, the next person that gives me an opportunity, make the best of that opportunity and, make them feel like they're lucky that you get you. Right. So,
Yeah,
yeah, it's right now nothing, but I think I've been in this situation a lot, so I'm not stressed or anything about it. Whereas a lot of guys who may have been used to being always getting their contracts done earlier, whether in the spring or in the summer. At this point, maybe they'd be stressing a little more. But for me, it's like, yeah, I'll end up somewhere, and wherever I end up, they'll be lucky to have me. So
yeah, that's
just make keep getting better, and when you do get the opportunity, you can make the most of it.
yeah, that's a great attitude to have. That's the thing that's always stood out to me about you is how poised and how confident you are in your abilities. Not cocky,
Mm,
obviously, but
mm.
you've never I've never seen you kind of freak out and blame play the blame game or
Yeah, yeah,
complain or
yeah,
whine. You've always been professional, so I know things are gonna go great for you and you're gonna
oh,
go where you
thank
want to
you,
go. You know,
thank you, I
and
appreciate that.
I do remember, seeing highlights of your ECHL game, and
Oh yeah,
like I remember you making that unreal cross crease save, and I was
oh
like, that's the
yeah.
guy. That's the guy. I've been watching his YouTube clips for years. Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
unbelievable.
yeah,
Can you kind
yeah.
of talk about that whole experience and like what it felt
Oh,
like?
yeah. That story is crazy. Just from how I ended up getting there and everything. Um, I remember I think I can't remember what day the game was on. I think it was a Friday or Saturday, and I remember I was driving like I was in Toronto the day before. And I was going to go to like a physio appointment, and I was driving there. And my agent called me, and I think it was February or something like that. It was middle. It was like COVID time, so there was a lot of stuff going on with guys having to sit out for 14 days because they tested positive for COVID and stuff like that.
Mm.
And I was driving in Toronto, and my agent called me and said, "Hey, like, can you be in Newfoundland tomorrow?" I was like, "Well, I guess I can be." So he connected me with their coach and their player operations guy, and then so that was around noon on in Toronto. I go to my physio appointment quick, and then get home right after that. And I remember I was in my physio appointment, like texting operations manager and stuff, like my passport details and my all this stuff, so they could book a flight for me. So I get home from that, go pack all my bags, get to the airport. My flight was at like, I think it was, I can't remember, but it was like maybe 8 or 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock or something like that. And my flight was delayed, like, I don't know, an extra hour and a half, 2 hours. So I'm leaving
Classic
Toronto at
Pearson,
like,
right?
oh yeah, oh yeah, leaving Toronto at like, I can't remember, like nine or 10 to 10:30, and then I end up landing in Newfoundland at like 2 in the morning. And at this point, I didn't even think I was starting. I was just supposed to go back up for the game and then maybe play later in the week. And so I show up, and it's like, by the time I get into my hotel room, it's like 3 in the morning. I'm showering, whatever. By the time I lay down, it's like 4:30. I have to be up at 8 to then go for morning skate. So they said I didn't have to go to morning skate, but I figured, you know what, I'm gonna go and just see how it goes and get on the ice just so I can feel the puck a little bit if I end up playing. And so get up and go to the morning skate, come back, obviously go to do pregame nap, can't sleep, obviously. You're just,
So
your
was I,
heart's
yeah.
racing. Yeah. And at this point, I wasn't even supposed to start still. And their other goalie, Evan Cormier, so their first goalie, Keith Petrozelli, he had COVID. So they're thinking, the goalie coach talked to me. He's like, I think Corbs is going to get COVID at some point soon. So like, be ready. So
Oh
I was
no.
like, okay. So then I'm
While
lying
you're
in
trying
bed
to
and I
get
can't.
some nap, right?
Oh, can't sleep. Go back to the rink. At this point, I'm still not playing. This is, before the game. And 30 minutes before warm up, Corms gets the call that his COVID test came back positive. So they're like,
Oh
yeah,
boy.
Al, you're playing. I was like, okay, here you go. So I think in a way it was good because, you don't get to think too much. It's just you get thrown right in there.
Yeah.
And then, so I go in there. I remember a warm up. Guys are like, "Who is this guy?" Like, like we just called this guy from Toronto, and he's here. Like, and he's this good. Like, but I think that day, like, the team was so depleted with COVID. It had just been going through the whole team. I think we had like 13 guys out with COVID or something like that. So we had one like senior hockey player playing on our team and stuff like that in an ECHL game, right? Against another team that is like competing for the division title. And
Yeah, of course you
so I
you
go
you're
out for
going against a stacked team too.
yeah, yeah. So I go out for warm ups, and warm ups go fine, get off the ice, and I remember like usually in between intermissions, or like in intermissions, just sometimes like I'll take all my tops off, take my pads off, take my pants like my goalie pants off, and I'll go to the washroom, come back, get dressed again. And I was taking my pants off, and I sliced my finger open with my skate.
Oh
So
my
I didn't even
god.
realize it because I guess the adrenaline was just pumping through me. So I'm going to the washroom. I'm like standing at the urinal. I looked, and there's a trail of blood behind me. I'm going, whose blood is that? Oh, it's mine. I look down, my whole hand's covered in blood. I'm like, oh my god.
Oh
So then I'm like
no.
trying to find like the therapist guy, and he's like, I don't know what he was doing something else somewhere else. So then one of the guys went and found him. He's taping my hand up as I'm getting ready, and then you go out on the ice to play. So I've got a sliced finger open, and yeah, it was that was a whole different. It's like it was a great experience to go there, and I'm really glad that I got that opportunity, and I ended up staying there for a few weeks, and they really liked me. They wanted to keep me, but they just had so many goalies there. So then I ended up going back. They sent me to Toronto and said, "Hey, like you can practice with the Marlies when they need a guy." So
Yeah.
practice with them, and then yeah, so that was that season. But yeah, that whole Newfoundland experience was something, and something I'll never forget either because it was just so much in such a short period of time. Like you're sitting in Toronto, and then within 24 hours you're in Newfoundland starting a game. So it was
That's
something.
insane.
Oh, and then at one point I remember too, during COVID, like there was no like water fountains and stuff at the airport. Like they were all shut off because you didn't want to spread COVID. So you couldn't really get water at the airport or anything. So that whole time I was in the airport, and I was busy just like running around trying to get on my flights, and so I didn't drink much water. So then, like 10 minutes left in the game, I was just I guess I went to go make a save, and my whole left leg just cramped up. So I'm
Oh
just like
man.
lying on the ice. I'm like, I can't move. So then they got to bring the trainer out, and yeah, I had like really bad cramping in my calf and my quad. And then
Oh, okay.
one of the guys, I remember one of the D men, he's like, "There's only like 7 minutes left. You can get off." I was like, "I'm not getting off the ice." Like this is my first game I've been playing in like 2 years. Like, yeah, no, you're gonna have to break my leg to get me off the ice. So
Yeah.
I finished the game, and then yeah, so a lot of stuff happened in that for your first pro game. That's an hell of a story.
I was gonna ask like what you did to kind of calm the nerves before the game, but I got my answer when you sliced your hand. It sounds like
Yeah,
extreme, but I
yeah.
guess it worked, right?
Do what you have to
Took your
do, you
mind out of
know?
the game.
Yeah, that's the thing is I think there was just so much going on and it get thrown, it's like baptism by fire, you know, you get thrown in so quickly, you don't really have time to think, right? And I think at that point in my life it was a good thing that I didn't get too much to think, or else I would have been, if they would have told me like in the morning you're starting, I would have been probably like thinking about it all day, right? And then
Yeah.
you don't perform as well. Whereas if you get told right before, it's like, okay, you know, I got to get dressed and then warm ups in 10 minutes, and you know, you listen to your music and get right in there. So I think that actually helped me out a lot.
Yeah, you got no time to worry, so it's just get out
Exactly.
there and do your job.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's almost better in that way. Does that happen to you often? Because I thought it was just me. Like, do you slice your fingers here and there, like on the skates, and not even realize it? Because it happens to me
It's
so
happened to me
often.
a few times. Yeah, it's happened to me a few times. Yeah, it's I think part of it too is I do get my skates sharpened pretty sharp, so it's a little bit more susceptible for me to happen. But yeah, I have a few times where, especially if you go to take your, if you are in this like taking your goalie pants off over your skates,
Hmm.
your hands are so close to your blades, or if your blade pops off of your skate and you go to put it back in. I've done that before,
Yeah.
where uh, you know, I was in a scrimmage in the summer and my blade popped off. So I'm like trying to get it on fast as possible so that I don't disrupt the scrimmage, and I sliced my hand open
Oh
because
man.
my blade was so sharp it just cut my hand like butter. And then the problem is because like your heart's pumping so fast, you just bleed so
Oh
much
yeah.
because all the blood's pumping through you, right? So
Yeah. And now you got to stop the actual scrimmage and get all the blood off the ice. Thanks a lot.
yeah, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Have you ever had your skate blade pop out in a game?
In a game, I don't think so. I like not that I remember. I know I've had my helmet fall off a lot, but I don't think I've ever had my skate blade pop off in a game. I know there was the one of my favorite skate blade moments is Tuukka Rask in the playoffs. I don't know if you remember
Yes.
that,
That
where
was
he's
that was the
holding it
first.
up.
That was like the
Yeah,
very
yeah,
first time it happened. Yeah, that
yeah,
was
yeah,
insane.
yeah. That was it was like I remember that game. They ended up, I think they lost that game. It was game one, and then they ended up winning the next four games. But Boston lost that game, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, they're going to lose the entire series." But yeah, that whole thing. Tuca was a great guy to watch. You know, like
Yeah.
so such a great character, and you know, it was always fun. There was always something going on when Tuca was in the net.
Yeah, yeah. They actually won that game if I remember correctly. That was game one of the
So
series and they won it.
I think they lost that game.
Yeah?
We
I
can
thought
fact check this if you
Oh yeah,
want.
I thought they won that game. Like Rask
I
had
think they
his
lost that game.
meltdown, threw a skate blade at the ref, and then they lost the series after that.
Do you want me to
Let's
try and
let's take
fact
let's
check
take a
this?
look. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. And then I think they lost game one, and then they ended up winning the next four games, and they won in five games. Let's see if my memories failed me or not.
That was 2018 first round, right? Yeah.
I
Let's see.
think
Let's
so.
see. Yeah. Now I'm curious. Yeah, that was like I remember then it happened to Vasilevsky, and then like the way he
Yeah.
freaking spreads out and covers the entire net. I think it was
Yeah.
against
Yeah.
Carolina, if I remember
Mhm.
correctly. And Carolina couldn't buy like they were trying everything. They were just putting the puck on net,
Yeah.
and Vasi somehow just gets to it with one skate
Yeah.
blade. Unreal! Like holy crap,
Yeah.
freak of nature, freak of nature.
Yeah. He's crazy.
Yeah. So I know you mentioned Holtby, but like, um, I remember like reading about sorry, April 28th, Bruins won 6-2 game 1. And then the
Oh,
Lightning won the next 4 games. I know. I trust me.
my
I
memory
know.
failed me.
I was
Also, it was flipped. It was flipped. It was
yeah.
Boston won the first game,
Yeah,
then
yeah,
Lightning won the next.
yeah.
Okay,
That was a
okay.
skate blade game. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I think that was
yeah. My bad.
the last one they gave up.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, trust me. I remember all of Boston's
All the
famous
Finnish
goalies.
goalies, you know,
Yeah.
you know
I
everything. I've
remember it.
never doubt you about any Finnish
No.
goalies.
Yeah, I lived their pain of like
Oh,
never having a good team in front of him when it mattered most. But going back to Holtby, I remember reading
mm,
about Mitch Korn talking about his development and how Holtby early on in his NHL career he had what Korn would call the happy feet, right, where he'd be
mhm,
very jumpy and very like active, maybe like to the point
yeah,
where it would hinder his game, and then he got him to
mm,
kind of calm down, like quiet
mhm.
his movement a little bit. Did you ever feel that way with your own development? Did you feel like at some point you wanted to kind of move less? Less is more. Conserve your energy and just focus on being in position.
Yeah, I think that's actually something I've been trying to teach myself the last few years is, like you said, when Hope we kind of had that early in his career, I think it's not so much getting rid of that skill because it's something that uh, is very good if you can use it, but you just have to use it in the right situations, right? So sometimes, and realizing that sometimes moving less is actually better for you.
Mm,
Like you said, I think, especially now, like using my size and not always relying on my athleticism, opening up less holes and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, it's just knowing when to use it and being able to distinguish when to go into desperation or when you're fine just sliding over and being fine and using your size to your advantage. But yeah, I think that's a big thing for development is knowing, when and when not to do something, even if it's something that you are very strong at. Um, just because you're strong in it doesn't mean it's, applicable in every circumstance in a
mm,
game, right? So, and I think like for Holtby, you saw that as he got older in his career. One thing I always loved about Holtby was, man, in the playoffs, he was money. Like he was always
oh
so
yeah.
clutch in the playoffs. And but as he got older, you saw like um, he only like his edge work and feet were so good because he was so patient on his feet. So he used it when he needed to and not overused it. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it was really cool to see that growth in him as well because obviously the 2018 Cup run he was really good and
The save
yeah he
in game
was.
two.
Oh yeah, that's one of my favorite saves. I think that whole save changed the whole series because they
Totally,
lost
yeah.
game one and game two. That I don't know if that would have tied the game. I think that would have tied the
It would have
game. I
tied the
think they were
game,
up
yeah.
2-1. Yeah, and then it goes to overtime, right? You never know what happens. Then all of a sudden you lose in overtime, you're down 2-0. It's
Yeah, yeah.
completely different than being 1-1. So yeah, I think that seeing that growth in him was awesome. But I think that's key is just because you're really strong in it doesn't mean you have to use it in every situation. So just knowing when and when not to use certain things.
Yeah, yeah. How do you like? I know you've got a lot of reach with your height and your stick. What size paddle do you use?
Just 26.
You're 26, huh?
Yeah,
That's that's something that I've kind of tried to pull back on a little bit because I started with a 27, if you can believe it or not,
mhm.
at 5'8".
Yeah. So I was the same way too, but
Yeah, I
I
used 26s for such a long time, and then this summer
mhm,
I was like, you know what? I'm thinking about getting some custom sticks from Warrior, and it's like,
mhm,
what if I just get like a cheaper mid range, like I ended up getting the RM3 25-inch, like
mhm,
similar
mhm,
blade to the Carey Price curve, and
mhm,
I started using that for about a month and a half, and then I'm like, okay, that's I'm gonna get I'm gonna get some custom 25s, and I'm just gonna like
mhm.
try to be a little bit less reliant on
Yeah.
paddle length and maybe fix my low blocker and a butterfly because I feel like my
Yeah,
stick gets too high on that in that position.
I think too. Like, I made that when I was in junior. I used a 27-inch paddle, and if anything, I think it opens up the hole under your arm way too much. And when you try and even when you try and deflect a puck into the corner with your stick,
Mm.
you end up opening up too much and turning, and then like almost flicking your wrist too much instead of like keeping it in front of you. And then I find too when you try and keep your blocker square in your regular stance, your blade's like not even on the ice properly. So it's like I think having when I think that was the whole like 10, 10, 15 years ago was just you want it bigger stuff, cover more area, but that's not
Yeah.
always good, right? Because you got to look at what it's actually doing to you, like how it's making you stand different and stuff like that.
Mm.
Now I actually like I saw Bobrovsky does the rounded paddle curve, so instead of um, having like the trigger on one finger on your stick, I hold my like two fingers on it, so you get a little bit even more closer to the ice, and
Yeah.
you're have a little bit more control over your stick. So yeah, it's something I think a lot of people, obviously, unless you are really tuned into goalies and only a goalie would really know, like getting a bigger paddle is sometimes detrimental. It opens up more holes. So
Yeah, totally. I've
yeah.
even seen it at um, goalies who are just wearing pads way too big, and you see it right away.
Oh
And
yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
buddy, like your 5 hole is opening up because of your pads are too big.
Yeah.
Like go down,
Yeah.
you got to go down an inch, and then all of a sudden you're gonna start sealing it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
And you can't move.
That's true. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the funny thing. I've started playing around like this after my I tore my MCL last Christmas, and
Mhm.
coming back like 3 months later, I was struggling so much. Like I couldn't get the like I couldn't steal the 5 hole. Like I'm
Mhm.
training with this team called NHC, and they're basically they're a Division 3 team in
Mhm.
here in Espoo, and like the guys are all like they were like junior picks for like Liga, Mestis, Suomi-sarja
Mhm.
teams, right? So they're really good players. And
Mhm.
I go to their skates to train with them, and like they start beating me like every single time on a breakaway, and like they didn't even have to try anymore. All they had to do was just shoot 5 hole, like just shoot 5 hole,
Mhm.
like not even
Mhm.
deke or anything. I just like lost like all my speed getting the 5 hole close up. So like
Mhm.
first thing I tried to do was I got rid of the knee wing, like the wing wrap. So I just
Mhm.
took it off the genetics and went with the knee Velcro under the knee instead of over the knee, right?
Mhm.
And it gets the pads down a little bit quicker now. But
Mhm.
then they start they get a little floppier at the top. So it's like now I got to get
Mhm.
used to like not having the pads like hit each other while I'm doing like T pushes and C
Yeah.
cuts, like just
Yeah.
getting
Yeah.
around
Yeah.
on my edges. So it's like every time you want to like change something, you got to get used to a whole new thing.
Mhm.
I don't know
Yeah.
how you are with your
Adapt. Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. Like, are you like what do you call it, like a creature of habit? Do you kind of like find something that works and then you never kind of want to change it unless you have to, or do you like to experiment?
I used to be more so a creature of habit than I am now. Now I'm more open to try new things and stuff. Like I had the same glove for like 7 years. Like it was the Pro V Elite Vaughn glove, and it had the two-piece cuff on it.
Okay.
And yeah, I was like, okay, this works, and I just want to stay with it and stick with it. And then there's a couple reasons why, but this set I got now, I changed to a V10 that's just one solid piece. And I was figured like when I was ordering the set, I was like, you know what, like it's it's what I was finding when I had the two-piece cuff, I would get a lot of shots right in the cuff.
Hmm.
And instead of it staying in front of me, it would bounce up and over me and in. So it's like you're in the right spot and you're doing everything right, but because that cuff flexes too much, it's ended up hitting the top of the cuff going up over you and in. So it's kind of like
Right.
once that happens enough times, you're kind of like, okay, maybe I should try something else. And there's innovations in gear for a reason, and some of them are a little bit gimmicky, and some of them actually do work and or help you a lot in your game. But it's just being able to figure out which ones are which, right? And realizing not every advancement in goaltending gear is going to be great, but some of them, if you can take them and see how they work for you, then there's no hurt in trying, so see if it works, and then if it works, then take it and run with it.
It's actually something I wanted to pick your brain about, because it's not often you get to talk to a pro goalie. But what do you feel is kind of gimmicky right now in the goalie world?
That's a good question. I think there's a lot of stuff. Maybe not so much. I don't know about goalie gear, but I know there was the whole thing that with making goalie gear so small and taking away from stuff. It's kind of to increase scoring. I don't know. It's for me. I think it's at a point now where I don't think they should touch it anymore.
Yeah.
There's other ways to increase scoring if you want to increase scoring, but some
Maybe
of
the
the
players should get
gimmicky
better
stuff.
at scoring.
Yeah, there's all a bunch of different ways to improve stuff. Like if you want to really like increase scoring, then if a guy gets a penalty and you score 3 seconds into the power play, he doesn't get to come out of the box. You got to play the full 2 minutes.
Right.
Like you don't get out earlier. Or if you really want to mix things up a little bit, you do long change for 2 periods in the first and third period instead of just the second period.
Right.
That'll increase scoring. There's different ways. Like the penalties one I really like, or it's just like there's just different advancements you can make that would increase scoring that wouldn't take. And I felt bad for the goalies that went through it, because when they changed the chest protectors first and stuff, they gave the gear manufacturers like a month's notice, so guys were like getting hurt because the gear just wasn't up. They didn't have enough time to make it properly. So they're wearing all this stuff that isn't made properly, but it's the right size according to the NHL, and the guys are getting, hitting the collarbone, broken collarbone, stuff like that. And it's just, I felt bad for the guys that went through it in the NHL at that time, because it was just, you didn't have enough time to get used to it, because you're not covering the same thing that you were covering a month ago. So, but I think a lot of the gimmicky stuff is maybe not, there's probably some stuff with gear. I try and maybe steer clear of that and not interact with it too much, but you see a lot of stuff on whether it's Instagram or Facebook or whatever, just a lot of different people who are goalie experts that have a new drill that's gonna exactly that's gonna change you and make you so much better. And and I think there is a lot of good out there, but you just have to be able to distinguish if this is actually gonna help my game, or is this just like not going to help me at all? I think, that's something. I think now it's because of social media. Like there's a lot of good that comes with social media, but there's also a lot of people that think they know more than they do, and they put out a lot of shit out onto the platform, and just this is going to work. This is going to make you better. And they sell, and the sad part is sometimes they sell parents of kids a dream, and it's like, oh yeah, well, you pay me and I'll, help make your kid better. And it doesn't actually help them at all. They're just trying to get their money. So
it's sad.
Yeah.
Part of why I've always loved watching Keeks, with Future Pro, because he's always been so brutally honest with, like the prospects of the average kid out there getting to the NHL, and the whole thing about how you need like external motivation. Like you can't succeed unless somebody else is pushing you. But that's not true at all. Like if you don't want it deep down inside you, if you're not motivating yourself to go run up a hill and do everything that you need to do to become a better goalie, then no one else is going to be able to convince you to do that. And that's
Exactly.
I love that he always puts the onus on the goalie themselves to,
Mhm.
like if every goalie that you're going to be competing with in your age group is out there like doing something to get better, like what are you doing right now?
Mhm.
Right? And
Mhm.
that's like, I mean, I'm just an amateur goalie, but like I think about that too all the time. It's like no matter what level I'm playing at, I always want to be the best goalie on the ice. And I know
Mhm.
you feel that way too. And we're talking about a pro goalie here.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like that's the mentality you need to be able to succeed and get better, right? You can't be
Mhm.
happy with the status quo.
Mhm. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So we talked about your experience going up to the ECHL, what a pressure situation that was, and how well you were able to deal with it and everything. Um, you know, you spent the last 2 years playing elite hockey in Poland, right?
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
So, do you want to talk about a little bit about that whole experience? Going abroad, kind of on your own and playing hockey professionally there.
Yeah. I think Poland has, a lot better hockey than a lot of people would think. I got my Polish citizenship a couple years ago, and that's why I ended up wanting to go over there. Was the prospect of playing professionally over there, and um, maybe ended up play for the national team someday. But the first year I was there was a lot more. The league was a lot more evenly dispersed, let's put it that way, than it was this past season I was there. There was 9 teams in the league, and there was a bit of a skill drop off, but on any given night, any team could win. The top 4 teams were really good teams, and then it dropped off a little bit from there. But I think we finished in 6th place or something like that. And any night we could win. We could win a game if the right things happen.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was it was a lot easier to play in a situation like that, which I didn't realize at the time. There was some stuff going on with the team behind the scenes, and guys aren't getting paid and all that other stuff too. And then last season happened, and it was. I think the league got into a little bit of trouble with just budgeting and money, and so the top teams, like the top 4 teams, were really good, and then there was a drop off, and then the 3 teams after that were they were okay but not great, and then the bottom 2 teams were just awful,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of the teams, like the top 4 teams, had their goalies, and they've had their goalies for the past 4 years or something like that, where they just don't change their guys. Um, so it came around, and I still didn't have a team in October or November, and um, the team in last place messaged me in Poland, and they said, "Hey, like, do you want to come play for us?" And I was like, I was kind of at first, I was like, you know, I was skeptical about going, but this team, like, they lost some games before I got there, like 18-0, right? So it's like it's as a goalie, and you're going in as a goalie, right? So it's not like you're a forward or something where instead of it's 18-0, you manage to get 2 points, and it's 18-2, right? Like, as a goalie, there's only and you get 2 points, right? And then no one really cares about the plus minus. Whereas a goalie, it's like, okay, like, how much am I supposed to do here?
Yeah, yeah. It's
And
like I got my guy.
yeah,
How do you do
so
that
you
as a
get
goalie when you're getting no help?
yeah,
It's like
and
I
I
stopped the first
figured
5.
yeah. So I was at home, and I figured, you know what, like, if I ever want to play for the national team, I should probably just bite the bullet and get it done now, because in order to play for the national team, you need to play in the same country that you want to represent for 2 consecutive seasons.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're born in Canada and you get your Polish citizenship, you have to go play in Poland for 2 years in a row. I think I can't remember how many months consecutively or whatever, but you can't play in a different country or anything like that. And so I was at home. I was like, you know what? if I want to ever play for the national team, I should probably just bite the bullet and go on this team and see what happens and see how much of a difference I can make. And so, first game we played against a team, Katowice, which is the team I ended the season on. They were in second place. Last time they played against them, they lost by more than double digits. It was, I can't remember what the score was, but it was like 12-1 or something. I don't know. And so I'm going in there against this team, and um, I remember the betting odds. So one of my
Oh boy.
people in the fan base, he liked to bet, and after the game, he told me what the betting odds were going into the game. The odds that we were going to win the game were 100-1 just for one game, and that's usually like a parlay. Like you're doing like a 5 or 6 game parlay, and this was 100-1 that we would win this game. Like so
Almost like the
halfway through the game,
junior team versus an NHL squad or something.
honestly, yeah, like it was like hearing that was funny. But halfway through the game, apparently like the betting sites, we were winning 1-0. And the betting sites like shut down because like turned the betting off for this game because they're like, what the hell is happening? Like this shouldn't be happening. So we were winning 1-0 with like 6 minutes left or something like that, and they scored on the power play. So they ended up tying it 1-1. We went through the whole overtime. No one scored. We went 11 rounds in the shootout, and we lost 2-1 in the shootout. But I played well that game. I can't remember how many shots I had, like 40 something. I can't remember. I played well. The team played well in front of me. I think, for their capabilities, like considering they were playing against a team that was so much better than them, and they were like these young Polish players. They did really well. And the team we played against, I think Katowice, they kind of took it for granted a little bit. They thought, oh, we're going to come in, we're going to walk all over these guys. And
no, they got to
so then
net now.
Yeah, so that's probably one of my games in my career that sticks out the most for me, because it's just like the fact that we took, like they're a team that played against some of the better teams in Europe too. Like a few years ago, this team beat Zurich Lions in Switzerland, right? They played the Champions League and beat them, right? So it's like, this is a good organization. And so then the funny part, or not funny, but it's part of the story was we played them again 2 nights later. And I started, and they were not happy. Like when I ended up on the team at the end of the year, the guys told me that we played them Sunday and Tuesday. On Monday, they were supposed to have a day off, and I think they all came in, and the coach made them watch the whole game for video, and he just like yelled at them the entire time. And because that was the only time that our team I was on got a point basically the entire season. And so then we played against them 2 days later, and I don't know if we got out of our zone very much at all. Like I ended up at the end of the game with 77 shots.
Oh my
and we I think it was 4-0 with 7 minutes left, and I had 64 shots or something like that. And then we took a couple penalties. They scored on the power plays, and then the wheels fell off. They scored 3 more goals. It ended up 9-0, 77 shots. But yeah, that was the most tired I've been. Yeah, you can't and that's the thing with international ice too, is when you have a team that's so much better than another team, they can just keep away in the zone, because you can't even really pressure them as much as you can on North American ice and just chip the puck out of the zone, because they have so much room on the outside. They can go shoot, get a rebound, keep it in the zone. 1-2 guys change, they keep the puck. It's just like, I remember that game. It was like every media timeout, I was like on my knees, like just dying. Like I was getting, during intermissions, I was drinking so many salts because I was cramping up. And yeah, so that was the thing. Like the top teams in the league were really good. I ended up getting traded to another team, which didn't work out. They had there was a lot of drama going on in the second team I went to. They were the other team that wasn't the second last place team in the league. They were supposed to be better, and then there was something that happened between the coaches and the player, or the coach and the players. The coach left, or the coach was told to leave, and then the best players in the team also left. They were Finnish actually, and so the team was just not the same as when I initially went there. That all happened like a day before I ended up getting there. So I got there and it was a completely different team. And I'm just like, I remember one practice. We had 6 guys show up to practice, and we had two pucks. And when the pucks went over the glass, we just got off the ice. I was like, and I'm in Poland, and I'm like, what am I doing? Like, I called my parents. I remember I said, I'm either coming home or I'm finding a new team to play on. And so I talked with Katowice, and they've always liked me. They've just always had their goalies. And I talked to them and said, like, hey, can I just come and join you guys for your playoff run, basically? And they said, yeah, sure. Like, what would you expect out of us? And I said, honestly, I don't expect you guys to pay me anything. Just as long as you can pay for my apartment and my food, then I'd be fine. So I ended up going there for the end of the season. And it was a really good experience just being on a team that was good, had like all the guys in the team were really nice. We all got along really well. And we went on a bit of a run in the playoffs. You're playing on like good practices. Obviously the games are great. You're actually playing competitive games. And then we went all the way to the finals and lost in game 7. I wasn't playing, but yeah, it was still a great experience to just be a part of that and, you know, realize this is what hockey's like again, because when you're on those situations where it's like, it's a little bit depressing because there's just, you really miserable. Don't know what to do. Yeah. Especially as a goalie.
Everyone around you is miserable too. So like, that's all you feel, right?
Yeah.
And that seeps into your daily thinking, and it's like, oh my god, like, do I want to be doing this?
Yeah. And like the top teams in Poland, we'll see how good the league is in this coming season, but they're all pretty good. Like when we played the team we played in the second round, played in the Champions League, and they beat a team from the Dell 4-1 or something like that. And then they took one of the better teams in Finland to overtime. I think Ilves. I don't know how you say their name.
Ilves, yeah.
Ilves, yeah. They took them to overtime. So like
favorite childhood
the top teams,
and they always fail when it matters most.
Oh yeah.
Never seen them win a championship. Never will.
But yeah, so it's like the top teams are all good. Like I think it's a little bit underrated in terms of how good the hockey can be there. But yeah, just the discrepancy in skill from the top teams to the bottom teams last year was just so huge. It was tough if you're a goalie on one of the bottom teams, because it's just at a certain point there's really nothing you can do. So, right. But yeah, it was a good experience. Like I learned a lot about myself and you know, just getting around and in a different, like you said, foreign country. I'm still learning the language, so it's you know, getting around and you know, moving to 3 different teams and figuring that out on myself. It was good from my own life experience as well to experience that, and you know, just you know, keep learning and growing. So,
but it also shows a lot of maturity for being able to deal with that and doing it professionally too. So, you know, hopefully teams take notice of that, and you'll get a proper opportunity, you know, one that
I hope so too,
matches your skill set and your you know your attitude. So
well, thank you.
But it's good that you had like a more positive experience towards the end, and you got to kind of be a part of a better team, because yeah, I mean it wears down on you, right?
For sure.
So thing I wanted to ask you was like, what's the dumbest piece of goalie advice you've ever heard?
Back in the day, I think everyone learned it, was the good old half butterfly. I was talking about this with some of the goalies I train with in the summer too. Is the older guys know what it is, but it's just like the old you go down and one of your legs is up, one of them's down, you're turning your body in a weird position. It just made no sense. And everyone did it, right? But it just made no sense, like, at all. When you look back at it, right?
Well, you've probably seen Quick do it in like the NHL in like a breakaway or something, but it's like, I could never do that. I don't know how it even works. Like, it breaks my brain just looking at it. It's like, I don't even like being in a VH like on the post. Like, I always went in VH because it just felt more comfortable. Which, you know, that has its own kind of host of problems as well. But have you ever faked an injury to get a breather in the middle of a game, or like a gear?
No, I don't think I have. But what I will say is the one thing that I've learned to do is when you get hit in the head and a clip comes off your mask, to shake the mask off your head, because I got scored on last year because I got hit in the head, a clip came off. And I was yelling to the ref, "Hey, clip came off," and he did nothing. So they came around, they scored, and I'm like, okay, like, I went to the ref, I'm like, "What do you expect me to do?" And he's like, "Well, you know, whatever." So now, as soon as you get hit in the head and a clip comes off, you just shake it off your head and you gotta stop the play, because you know when you're playing and your mask is down your eyes, it's like everything's off. You can't see the puck, which makes it kind of hard to stop it, right? So.
And then you see someone like Louis Domingue where like the strap's not even off. He just takes his mask off.
Yeah.
The goal counted.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I noticed a big difference playing in Canada versus in Finland. Like in Canada, when I would get hit in the head, no matter like what league it was in, like they would immediately call the play dead. And then I come here, my first game, I get like walloped in the head, and I'm expecting a call, like I'm expecting a whistle, and like play just goes on, and immediately there's like another scoring chance. And then I say to the ref after the next stoppage, I'm like, "Hey, just curious, like, don't you have to whistle to play dead?" And he's like, "Why?" I'm like, well, and then I feel like such a pussy. I'm like, I got hit in the head. And he's like, are you concussed? Did your mask come off? I'm like, no. And then it's like, you're fine. I'm like, okay. All right. It's fine. I'm used to getting hit in the head. All right. But I just know not to expect anything anymore. But
it's just when the strap comes off, it's just like the mask is moving around. You can't move your head properly, and it's just like all your tracking, everything's off. You're just like, okay. And if I say anything to the ref, he's not going to blow the whistle, so you just shake it off your head and
throw a skate blade at him.
Tuca stuff.
Keep your spare skate blades on the net with you.
Yeah.
But now that I'm playing with like more regularly with these like elite guys, and I watched the footage, and like the puck hits me right in the middle, and like both straps just immediately come right off. Just pop right off. But it's like a scrimmage game, so nobody really cares unless the mask is actually off. So like, I just like look down and it just falls right in my lap. Usually they realize maybe they should stop shooting at my head in that moment. But
when
like one of these days I'm gonna get a bad one right in the face. Have you so in your playing career have you kind of come across like really big trash talkers so far? Anyone who's kind of in your face?
There's one guy that sticks out of my mind in Poland. He plays. His name is Alan Listarchuk. He played in the OHL and stuff. Now he plays for Tehe, and he has a big mouth on him. He likes to chirp and stuff. But it's I remember when we played them in the playoffs first year, and I remember I was skating back to the bench after the second period, and I think he said like, "Hey, like at that point, I hadn't played too many games in the prior years," and he's like, "Hey, like you've only played like 6 games in the last 5 years, like you suck, whatever." And I was like, "Man," I said, "So I've played 6 games in the last 5 years, and I'm still playing in the same league as you." So he likes to talk. I mean, he's a good player, a really good player, but. So there's always those guys that come across that just kind of shake your head. You're like, you can't let them get under your skin. They're just words.
You've seen that, like that one video, I think it was like a 35-year-old like like a Canadian player in like a European league, and he was talking to like he was getting chirped by like a
Oh
20-year-old.
yeah, I
20-year-old's
saw
like,
that.
you're
Yeah, I think it was in
35.
Austria. Yeah,
Austria,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. And he was
yeah.
like, buddy, like you're 20 and you're still here. Like you're done. You're done. Like any weird like pregame rituals that you have?
Not really. Like I'm pretty normal. I like at least I like to think so in terms of my pregame rituals. I mean, I have my routines and stuff that I do. Like I like to get to the rink around the same time before a game and you know, get all my stuff ready and, not be rushed going into the rink. But I think maybe the weirdest thing is usually during intermissions I'll listen to music. Just try and stay in the zone and talk with my D or my team if I need to, and then put my music in and just kind of try and stay focused in. And then when the coach comes in, take him out and see what he's got to say, and then put him back in, and then go back on the ice. So
What's your go-to for music to get you? Is it like to more get you pumped up or kind of get you relaxed? Like what do you go for?
yeah, honestly, it depends on your mood. Sometimes it's you're maybe feel like you need a little bit more energy. You listen to something a little bit more fast paced. Sometimes you feel like you're too energetic. You need to calm yourself down a little bit. You listen to something a little bit more slow paced. So it just all depends
Celine
on how you're
Dion.
feeling. And yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Classical music.
Yeah. You ever get songs stuck in your head while you're playing?
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
How do you like? What does that do with you? Like, does it annoy you? Like, does it like do you kind of like try and
No, actually,
talk yourself
I've
out of
used
it? Or
to. I used to really like it because it just kept me not thinking as much, and it just kept me like, I guess, present. Because then it's just like all that's going through your head is that song, so you're just kind of as present as you can be in the moment, and it allows you to play better. But I try not to search for it too much because I know, like, when I had that song stuck in my head that was like really good, I was like, okay, yeah, this is when I'm always on. But um, now it's like I try not to search for it too much, and I try to just have that feeling without having that song stuck in my head. Because it's like, well, what if you don't have that song stuck in your head? What
yeah,
do you
yeah.
do? So it's like, yeah, just having that either way. But yeah, I actually really enjoy that. I don't know. You enjoy that or no?
I don't. I don't.
No.
Because I start thinking way too much about the song, and then I get like I distract myself from the game itself, and then I try to like talk to like I don't know if you do you talk to yourself a lot while you're playing?
A little bit, yeah, it depends, but sometimes, yeah, just like little constant reminders, short phrases, stuff like that. Yeah.
Because I find like I don't talk enough, so like I
Hmm.
kind of maybe force myself to talk a little bit just so I
Hmm.
become a little bit more vocal with even teammates during the game.
Hmm.
But then when there's like when a song starts playing in my head, it's all like I get so annoyed. I'm like, wait a minute, I don't
Hmm.
want this song because I remember last time I heard the song, I got scored on. So wait, does that mean I didn't get scored on? And I start like worrying and like getting like stupid about it, and then like I start like I'm like, wait, did I just get scored on like 5 minutes? How did I get scored on? Like I get all like lizard brainy and like can't remember like what happened like 30 seconds ago, and it's like, oh my god, like I'm a mess right now. What's going on?
Yeah.
So
One thing I do is I try and talk to my teammates a lot on the ice. Just I feel that just keeps me engaged and into the game. Like unless you get really tired and you just don't have the energy to say anything, but when your D makes a good play, say good play, good stick, whatever.
yeah,
If someone has a good back check, just making them feel good about themselves too. Because if you're complimenting them and saying, "Hey, like, good job there," then they're more likely in the future to do it again, right? So,
right, right.
anytime I get the opportunity, if someone makes a good play or something in front of me, it's just like, "Hey, like, good stick, good D, good whatever," and yeah, I feel that just keeps me engaged in the game too.
Like like talking to you right now, you seem like a very calm guy, like well spoken. But like, do you have like a
Mhm.
different personality when you're on the ice? Do you talk any differently? Do you sound different?
Um, I don't think so. I mean, maybe uh, back. I think used to be like I used to be very shy and introverted. Now I've broken out of my shell a little bit more. So like I was shy and introverted off the ice, and then when I got on the ice, you'd see a little bit more of like talking to guys and stuff like that. Whereas now it's pretty much the same on and off the ice. Maybe on the ice it's a little bit more exaggerated where um, you're talking to guys a little bit more about when they make a good play or something like that. But yeah, it's I'd say it's just more maybe a little bit of an exaggerated version of myself, but not like in the past. It was I'd say a little bit more of a different version of myself than these days.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I mean, it's less now because I'm in Finland, but like back in Canada when I was playing, for some reason I would just turn into like a Northern Ontario or like Alberta like truck driver or
Yeah.
something. I'd be like, oh fuck yeah, boys, yeah, fucking right. Oh fuck, what a fucking snipe. Let's fucking go, boys. On the D, back check. Let's fucking go. Goalie's going down. He's leaving a lot of fucking space up top, fucking wire top corner like right now. And I'm like, I don't sound like that in person. I don't know why.
And then you get off the ice, you're completely different.
Yeah, it's just me, and I'm quiet, and I'm like very like trying just being in my corner, like not talking very much. But I don't know. It's like a weird like personality shift. I can't explain it.
Mhm.
I also get very like serious when I'm on the ice. I'm so jealous of like goalies who can kind of like joke around. They have like so much like chirping going on and so much material to work with because like I'm the opposite. I just like completely shut
Mhm.
down,
Mhm.
and I don't know what it is, but maybe I'm too like loud and vocal in my daily life that it's like goaltending
Mhm.
became like a my alter ego of just like the complete opposite. But like you seem to be like much more like better put together. You seem like pretty consistent on and off the ice.
I feel like I don't do much chirping with the other team. Like if it's in a practice with my own team and it's like a guy I know well, it's like you do your classic chirps or whatever. But in a game, I'm kind of like you don't want to say something and blow up in your face, right? Or
Right.
poke the sleeping bear or whatever. So you never know what you're going to say that might piss someone off and put them in a mindset where they're like, "Hey, no matter what, I'm going to end up scoring on this guy." So
Yeah,
you
you
just
do.
kind of stay to yourself when it comes to the other team, and just do your job. In my opinion, some guys, like you said, love that chirping and stuff like that, and it works for them. But for me, that's that's not my thing.
I had a weird journey to be like a full time goalie, but it made me really
Yeah.
appreciate getting a chance every day to go out and play because like you know how it is, like you have like a love hate relationship with it, but at the end of the day, no
Hmm.
matter how bad things can get, like you wouldn't give it up for anything, right?
Hmm. Exactly. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I
And
completely agree.
yeah, yeah, it's the best thing in the world. You gotta make the most of it while you can. You know.
Yeah. And I'm glad you've found your way back after all that, and you're able to play as much as you have, and yeah, it's one of the most challenging, but also one of the best positions to play in the world. So,
I don't know if I would say found my way back because I never was there to begin with. Yeah. But I don't know. I started playing at 20, and then 5 years later I was on the ice with Jesus Zizekas. Like how often
Mhm.
like can you kind of have like a journey like that? You know, like
Yeah,
not to say
yeah.
that I ever had a chance of playing pro. Jesus God, no. But like just I worked really hard. You know, I just
Yeah.
wanted to get better all the time, and then filming
Mhm.
myself was a way I could make that happen. And had a couple
Mhm.
sessions with Keeks, which I'm really happy that I had that opportunity, and he was kind enough to give me his time.
Mhm.
Like a proper NHL goalie coach, like that's something that I'll always remember.
Mhm.
Um, but if you could take one goalie's skill and add it to your
Mhm.
game right away,
Mhm.
what do you think that would be?
I think um, I would say probably I'm not a bad puck player. I'd say I'm decent puck playing, but if I could add anything, it would probably be like Martin Brodeurs puck playing or Marty Turco or Mike Smith or something like that, where it's just like they have the confidence to go stop the puck behind the net and make a breakout pass from behind the net to the middle of the ice when you're standing behind the net. Like I don't know. Like for me, it's just like I wish I could do that. That so that's probably the biggest one. Another one is flexibility like Vasilevsky or
Mm.
Quick. Like I'm pretty flexible, but I'm not that flexible. Whereas you're like Gumby in the net,
No,
right?
those two are
So
just they're freaks,
yeah,
absolute freaks. It's not even
yeah,
fair.
yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah,
they shouldn't even be allowed to do the splits. Like, come on.
yeah.
I remember
But yeah, those two, I'd say those.
I was trying to at one point, like kind of like coming out of COVID, I was just kind of like messing around with like hockey clips. I started doing like little trying to like mimic NHL goalies, like little it was little jokes,
Mm.
right? But I was like, for Vasilevsky, maybe I should try doing like the behind the back glove save.
Hmm.
And like I try to do it, I'm like how does he do that? Like I can't even get my like arm over the chest, like the chest pad behind me. I'm like, what the hell? Like I can put my trapper behind me, but it's like, how do you actually
Yeah,
like put it here, like behind your head? I'm like,
yeah,
oh my
yeah, yeah.
god, like how flexible is this guy? That's unreal. And he does it like nothing. Just
Yeah,
throws that hand out behind his head,
yeah.
like it's like
Those
his
guys are
right hand.
different animals.
Unreal. He's so fun to watch. Like I'm actually really
Hmm.
I'm happy that he kind of like got his game back a little bit after those injuries too, because like
Yeah.
I never want to see like such a talented athletic goalie like not be able to perform because of an injury. Like
Hmm.
it's such
Hmm.
a kick in the dick to see that happen. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean Holtby was really fun to watch. He was actually like
Hmm.
I would say one of my favorite like non-Finnish goalies for sure.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
yeah, he was like he had style too, right? He had
Oh
the
yeah,
jersey tuck and the laces
yeah,
sticking out. Yeah,
yeah.
I
Especially in playoffs. Like regular season Holtby was one thing, but playoff Holtby was just like I love watching him in the playoffs too. And I mean, he had that one season he won the Vezina. He has the most wins in a single season in NHL history, tied with
mm,
Broder. But yeah, he was a treat to watch. And when I don't think he ever officially retired, but when um, he had that. He kind of stepped away after he was with Dallas. He had those surgeries, and it was
mm,
sad because it was like that's a guy that I'd always whenever even if I didn't get a chance to watch the game, you'd always pull up the highlights the next day, see how he did, and watch him
yeah.
and see. But yeah,
Yeah, that's how I felt with Rask.
mm,
You could just tell like when he started having those hip injuries, like he wasn't the same.
mm,
Like I mean, like he was still elite, obviously, but
mm,
I remember like when he was young, like he'd be like just flying into the splits like nothing, and then
mm,
you could see how much his game changed when he got older over the
mm,
years because he didn't have the same flexibility anymore, didn't have the same kind of comfort in that position, so he became much more like a better like a really like positional, like incredible
mm,
positional goalie. So like, he didn't have to
mm.
make the highlight reel saves anymore.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
but I'll always remember when he came out with the open palm blocker save
Oh yeah. Yeah.
on
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it, one somebody on the Saber. I think Evan Rodriguez back when he was on the Sabers. Like I remember
Yeah.
I was showing that clip to my mom. I'm like I'm like most incredible thing ever. Like my wife doesn't know crap about hockey, so like I gotta show my mom to
Yeah.
be like to be able to share those moments. But
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, no, that was it's been a treat to watch those guys, and
Oh yeah.
but it's kind of sad too. Like right now, like you don't really think of you don't see that kind of like a big personality in the NHL anymore, right? Like it seems like
Hmm.
more goalies have become a little bit more kind of similar in a way, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It's a little bit more of a cookie cutter type of thing. Not as many personalities in hockey in general, I think. But yeah, it
yeah,
is. It is what it is.
yeah. Is there any goalie like in today's game, like a on the maybe on the younger end that you enjoy like watching play?
Um, well, the two guys I kind of model myself after and watch a lot. It's I like watching Jacob Markstrom. I think we play similar, like big guy, athletic, but also can use your size, stuff like that. And also, I really started watching Mackenzie Blackwood a lot
Mm,
on Colorado. I think he's like his technically, I think he's one of the better goalies in the NHL. And
mm.
I think he had injury problems earlier in his career with New Jersey,
Yeah.
he got shipped to San Jose. San Jose obviously wasn't a great team, and everyone was saying, "Oh well, his stats aren't good. He's
Mm.
not a very good goalie." But it's like, well, you're playing behind a team that is, getting outshot by double every night. Of course, your stats aren't going to be as good.
Yeah.
And then he goes to Colorado, and he like his second half of the year in Colorado, he was unbelievable. And I think in the playoffs too, like he was good. The first time ever in the playoffs, I thought he did well. But yeah, those two guys are the guys I kind of watch the most. I think too, like we have similar builds, but also like similar play styles too. And you can always watch them grab stuff from their game, try and implement it in your game as well. So yeah, those are the two guys.
Yeah, I remember him and Kakkonen were playing pretty well in San Jose despite everything
Yeah,
they had to deal with.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
they
yeah,
had like what back to
yeah.
back like 10-0 losses or something like that, and like
Mhm.
it wasn't the
Yeah,
goalie's fault
yeah.
that they lost.
No,
Yeah,
no. Yeah.
yeah. It's. I mean, I guess it makes me feel a little bit better knowing that can happen at the NHL level because
Oh yeah.
I uh,
Yeah.
I went up to play like one game for this team in like basically the highest division of the like amateur hockey in Finland, where like
Mhm.
the next division up from that is Pro Division 4. And
Mhm.
I was playing up against a team like full of like I had to look them up on like elite prospects after like every single one of them had like either Liga or Mestis experience like lots of games.
Mhm.
And I faced 70 shots that game. We lost
Wow.
10-0. Sorry, 10-1. 10-1. We got to go for the third goal. 10-1.
We gotta
We
go.
actually
Yeah.
it was 9-0 after the second period.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And
It's tough as a goalie, right? To,
yeah, we didn't we
not
didn't
take
we
that
didn't
on
lose the
yourself.
I didn't lose the third period. I'm like we
Oh, you
tied the
tied
third
it.
period if you think about it, but like
Yeah.
I'm gonna say I won the third period because it
Yeah,
took them
yeah,
until the last like 2 minutes of the third period to finally score the 10th goal.
yeah.
So
Mhm.
like I was like, no, that's the one that counts. I'm proud of myself. Like I've never
Yeah,
given up
yeah,
10
yeah.
goals and actually felt good about how I played.
Yeah, yeah.
If you can talk about it, how was your skate with
Mhm.
McDavid?
It was good. Yeah, it was good. I'm lucky enough, like I started training with Gary Roberts back maybe 5 years ago now. So at first it was during COVID and they didn't have many goalies around. So one of the skating coaches that worked with him, I knew him, and he called me in and said, "Hey, like at Gary Roberts, they need a goalie to come in and do skates." And so I was their guy. Like that first year, I was the only goalie, and I would do two skates back to back, and I was just getting so many shots. But I was like, wouldn't want anything else at that point. And at that point, I was a lot younger too, so I could take that many
Oh
shots in a
yeah,
day.
give it to me.
Um, yeah, exactly. And then so I kind of got in with them, and at first I would just do the skates, and I would work out somewhere else. So for like 2 years, I was just doing the skates, and then I started working out with them too. And through that, I've been able to make some really good friendships with guys, and yeah, just obviously one of them is Connor, and he's a great guy. We've been skating together for 5 years now or so, and so I face a lot of shots from him. But yeah, it's really cool to. I think at that point in my career, I was again another one of those times in my life where I was like, I'm not sure if I should keep playing or not. This was after some things went wrong in college. COVID happened. I'm like, I don't know. And when I gone in with them and I saw myself doing well against these guys, I was like, again, like I can do this, like and you get that validation from them too, and they're coming up to you going like, "Who are you?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
where are you playing?" Like, um,
Connor's
but
probably
yeah, it's
like,
like
you're our
it's
number one goalie,
no, no. But
please.
yeah,
I'll give you half my
so
contract.
yeah, so like it's been like I'm really grateful and thankful I've got to know those guys so well, be on the ice with them all off season, all the time. Like some of the best players in the world, like Connor, Leon, Landeskog, Stamkos, Hyman, like all these guys that are just like the list goes on, where it's like Bedard, like all these guys that you face now. And you're not only playing them in practice situations, you're playing against them in scrimmages and 4-on-4, 3-on-3. and getting to compete with them in the off season, it does so much for your game as long as you don't get down on yourself too much when they score. But it's learning too, and they're just learning and growing and seeing, although they're not goalies themselves, like seeing what they're doing around the sport, seeing, how much work they put in and what it takes to get to be that good, right?
Yeah.
So there's all these different things you can take and learn from them. And so I was on with Connor yesterday, and then I'm on with him again tomorrow. So, and then I'm on with him again Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So, and all those, and some of them, it's just me and him and a couple of his buddies, and he'll just take a lot of shots. Some of them, he'll do these like Power Edge Pro sessions where he'll like. You've probably seen the videos on Instagram of him going around those like things on the ice. He's jumping over, putting it under, going through, coming in,
the spinning,
yeah. So it's like sometimes it'll be him and Nurse and Draisaitl will usually come out to those, and then other times it's just him doing his own skill work, and his buddies are passing him pucks, and he's taking 400 or 500 shots in an hour and a half. So, but yeah, it's been great to build a friendship with guys like that, and learn from them, grow from them, challenge yourself, and see how you can play against the best players in the world and actually, find some success against them as well. So, yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I'm really. Too, right? Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And it's the best feeling when you get to frustrate them, because it's like, okay, I'm doing something right. I'm doing my job. Right. So
I think he is.
Yeah. Hopefully don't frustrate him too much. Like, he'll still invite me back.
No, he's gonna make you. Like, he's gonna make you go 3 in a row. I'm gonna beat
for
this
sure.
guy if it takes me all.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's amazing. So, I'm really happy you're getting that experience as well, and I'm still waiting to see you on an NHL ice coming soon.
Yeah, hopefully. Hey, one of my favorite stories is Tim Thomas didn't really play in the NHL till he was 31, right? And he played 10 years, won 2 Vezina trophies, won a Stanley Cup, won a Conn Smythe, right? So, as a goalie too, especially, you have late bloomers all the time, and if you find your way and stop the puck and get the right opportunities in front of you, then the sky's the limit.
Hey, that's all it takes is just one opportunity.
Exactly.
And that when it comes, you'll be ready for it.
And then the dominoes start to fall, right? So,
Alex, it's been a pleasure.
It's been awesome. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Oh, I'd love to come back.
Yeah. No, we'll definitely shoot the shit again later. But best of luck with your training skates coming up, and hopefully you'll get a proper opportunity for next season.
Thank you. I hope so too. Thanks, right. Maz. It was great talking with you.
You too, man. Take care,
buddy. Bye.
See ya. Alrighty, that's gonna wrap up the first ever episode of the Captain's Crease Goaltending Podcast, which I don't even know what I'm gonna call it. Crease Cast? Does it even matter? Probably not. But again, huge thanks to Alex Horawski for coming on and sharing his stories, insights, and let me tell you, like it's been an absolute treat watching this guy, watching his journey throughout the years. It's amazing. Like I can still remember seeing his highlights from his like minor hockey, like it was yesterday, and that was like when I was kind of like just a few years into my own goaltending journey, and like just watching this kid who was like 8 years younger than me, and I was like blown away by how good he was. So to see him, today, like what a mature, talented, skilled, and just an all around great guy he is. That's awesome to see, and wish him all the best. Like he's one of the real great guys of this position in this game. So I'm rooting for him all the way. So, if you're, part of the reason why I wanted to do this in the first place was, I toyed with the idea of doing a podcast, or adding that element to my channel. And it wasn't really like even like from a podcast point of view. It was more like I just wanted to have these candid discussions with goalies, but from more on the pro side, like Alex, for example. Because I think if you're a goalie who's chasing that next level, and whether it's junior or pro or just a beer leaguer who wants to understand the game better and wants to see what it takes to be at that level, um, that's why I wanted to do this. That's why I wanted to kind of share not only my love of the game and my experiences, but also kind of elevate anyone else who wants to come and talk about it, and also learn from them as well at the same time. So make sure you're subscribed right here on YouTube, and follow along for more conversations with goalies from all over the world. But yeah, I've got more guests lined up. So there's going to be more unfiltered talk, more a lot more to learn from the best position in hockey, and that's what it is. That's it right there. Goaltending is the absolute best position, not only in hockey but in sports. I can't think of anything better. And I know sometimes as a goalie, you have those games where nothing goes right. You have a week where nothing goes right, maybe even a month, and you start thinking about, why am I doing this to myself? I feel terrible. My body hurts. I'm not playing well. I can't compete anymore. I'm not good enough. I should quit. We've all had moments of feeling this way, feeling that the world is just collapsing at our feet. But then all it takes is one shot, one save, one period, one game, where you're kind of back to who you always wanted to be. You're back to the level that you aspire to consistently be at. And then you think, maybe not today. Maybe I won't quit just yet. Maybe I'll give it one more try. Maybe I'll just keep going. And you build something off of that. I think that's the most incredible thing too, when it comes to goaltending, is how low the lows can be and how high the highs can be. And it's all about just finding the right balance. It's all about just trying to keep that even line through the middle, knowing that, your best game ever, you're not going to be at that level every time, and your worst game ever, you're also not going to be at that level every time. So that's when you kind of reflect back and come at it from a rational point of view instead of emotional, where it's like, okay, I need to work on this. This is my weakness. This is something I need to focus on. This is something I need to get better at. And that constant push to get better, to improve, to learn, adapt, I think that's what keeps me going more than ever now at the age of 36. Just I want to find out what I'm going to be at 37. So I want to think less about how I'm not as quick as I used to be, or I can't stretch out as much as I used to. I want to turn that and think more positively. So, like I said, more coming soon, hopefully sooner than later. I've been pretty bad with the upkeep on this channel. Just play a lot, and I just have such a backlog of videos to go through when it comes to playing footage. But I'll focus on the podcast side of it a little bit more, and maybe that'll generate a little bit more interest on this channel and get things going a little bit. So thanks for hanging out in the crease with us, and we'll see you in the next one. Be safe.